When you are on your deathbed, will your first thought be your material possessions or your loved ones? Will you regret not making more money in your life, or will your biggest regret be not making enough time for the people that you cared about? Remember that money is not everything in life. You were born with wings, so why would you choose to crawl through life? Have you ever noticed that dead people receive more flowers than people who are alive? It is because regret is a much stronger feeling than gratitude. If you want to see the world change, then you are going to have to be the one to make that change. Nobody will know the dreams and visions that you have in mind quite like you. No matter how bad you feel right now, remember that you are not defined by your mistakes. Faith is the bridge to all of your dreams. You just have to be brave enough to cross that bridge. Each and every one of us is an innkeeper who has to decide if we have room for Jesus. The only beauty that lasts forever is the beauty in our hearts. Happiness is within. It has nothing to do with how much applause you get or how many people praise you. Happiness comes when you believe that you have done something truly meaningful. Martin Yan. Do not worry about going back to yesterday, for you were a different person then. A reasonable will adapt to the world, while someone who is unreasonable will try to make the world adapt to him. When what you are hearing and what you are seeing are not matching up, then it is time that you trust your eyes. We are all direct products of how we are raised. Only a few of us are able to raise past the ideas of that time. Do not bite of far more than you can chew, because it will not look good if you have to spit it back out. While a bird is safest when it is in its nest, it has to remember that that is not what its wings were made for. You are whatever it is that you repeatedly do. Following that logic, greatness is a recurring habit rather than a single act. Be wise today if you want to avoid crying tomorrow. Success is about getting what you want, and happiness is about liking what you get. We are capable of being our biggest problem and our only solution. Life is difficult, not just for me or other ALS patients. Life is difficult for everyone. Finding ways to make life meaningful and purposeful and rewarding, doing the activities that you love and spending time with the people that you love, I think that's the meaning of this human experience. Faith is about seeing the light with your heart when your eyes are seeing darkness. Faith does not necessarily make things easy for us, but it does make things possible. Where there is hope, there is faith. And when there is faith, miracles can happen. Be patient, for God is not finished yet. Never lose faith that God always has a plan for you. If you give God your weakness, then God will give you His strength. Sometimes God will stay silent until we are ready to listen to Him. When you are finding yourself in turmoil, remember that there is a blessing to be found within the storm. Faith is like taking the first step in the dark when you do not know the whole staircase. Faith is a matter of closing your eyes and opening your heart. If God has brought you to it, then He can also bring you through it. If you feed your faith, then your fears will starve. Having faith in God also involves having faith in His timing. Trust that thing will work out. God gives all of us special gifts, but it is up to us to figure out what those gifts are and how we can best use them. What hurts you can end up being a blessing. Let the darkness be your candle. God's true language is silence. Everything else is simply just a poor translation. If you have loved, then you have found God. Allow the love in your life to be stronger than the demons that you have to fight. People can handle the truth, but it is the consequence from the truth that really scares us. The only type of currency that we truly have is time. This is my simple religion. There is no need for temples, no need for complicated philosophy. Our own brain, our own heart is our temple. The philosophy is kindness. Dalai Lama. Do not be afraid of dying. Instead, you should be afraid of living without having anything to die for. Life is simply the art of dying. If you wait until you are 100% ready for something, then you will be waiting for the rest of your life. Life is a journey, it is not a race. It is not the length of the life, but the depth of it that really counts. We worry about tomorrow as if it has already been promised to us. If you want to know what someone is afraid of losing, then pay attention to what they take photos of. Love the people that God gave to you because He will need them back one day. Life will go on whether or not you choose to move on. Life is not at all about waiting for the storm to pass. It is about learning how to dance in the rain. The greatest pleasure in life is to go ahead and do what people say you cannot do. Go ahead and prove them wrong. You were born to be real, but you were not born to be perfect. Cut yourself some slack. You were born to be someone who is different than anyone else in the world. Embrace what makes you different, and do not be afraid to stand out. You only get to live life once, and it is the only life that you will ever get. So you better make the most of it. Empathy is really the opposite of spiritual meanness. It's the capacity to understand that every war is both won and lost, and that someone else's pain is as meaningful as your own. Live life without regrets, and you will have lived a life that was worth all of the bumps in the road. Life is what you make of it, so do the best with what you have. It all begins with a positive attitude. Set your life on fire and look for people who will fan your flames. There are two tragedies in this thing that we call life. The first tragedy is not getting what your heart wants, and the second tragedy is getting it. You just decide what your values are in life and what you are going to do, and then you feel like you count, and that makes life worth living. It makes my life meaningful. Love is not supposed to be an easy thing. It is supposed to be worth it. I am a dreamer and you are the dream. Love is simply the irresistible desire to be irresistibly desired. For you, I was a chapter, but to me, you were the whole book. Love is the act of looking deep into someone's eyes and seeing their heart. You are not perfect, but you are certainly perfect for me. A happy family is just an earlier heaven. Our family is kind of like branches on a tree. Even though we grow in different directions, we still grow together as one. Some of the most toxic people can come disguised as family. Family is not just an important thing. It is everything. If you want to change the world, then begin by loving your family. We only live once, but once is just enough if we manage to do it right. If you measure your life simply by what you own, then your heart will never be truly full. Old ways do not open new doors. Whatever it is that you are looking for, it is seeking you out too. Instead of raising your voice, improve your arguments first. The best way out of anything is through it. The only real wisdom is the knowledge that you know nothing. If you are trying to figure out which road to pick, choose the road that will purify you. If the door does not open, then it was not meant for you.